as always, and obviously we are coming to you on the Betting Pros channel. Make sure you subscribe to Betting Pros wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget also to subscribe and click that little bell until it goes ding on the YouTube channel like the stream. Tonight, the San Francisco 49ers are 10-point favorites against the Arizona Cardinals. Colt McCoy under center. That's the biggest piece to talk about and how that affects this game. 43 is the over-under. If you like Arizona for the upset, it's plus 360 on the money line. Now, we've gone not one, not two, but 3 times in a row with the upset call, and we've been right all 3 in the primetime games we've done here on these streams. And the last Thursday, Monday, Thursday, but here we are. I can't make a good case for this one, Boggs. I just can't do it. How do you feel about this game? Just looking at the lines, looking at the impact of Colt McCoy, who, by the way, the Arizona Cardinals played for, I might add. Those guys kind of showed up. They seem to like Colt McCoy. Yeah. He seems to have a better disposition than our friend Kyler Murray. Just putting that out there. But
Texas versus Oklahoma, Joe.
And then on top of which, we're going to get the San Francisco 49ers an extra day of rest and feeling a little bit strong, as it were. So when you're looking at this right now, what kind of pops off to you?
You know what? It's funny because I don't think the line moved significantly when we found out Colts is starting instead of Kyler, but I don't think it should have moved really. But with that being said, I do not trust Cliff Kingsbury at all. So
either.
This is not a game that I would bet on against the spread. If it was, I would take the Niners minus the 10 points because I do not trust Kingsbury at all whatsoever with this team. But I don't know. I think I prefer the over in this game more than anything because I think the Niners will score a bunch of points on the Cardinals defense, which is banged up. I mean, Thompson is less than 100%. Buddha is less than 100%. Wilson is out. The front is not great. I don't know, man. This Arizona defense is going to give up some points. I think the Cardinals can score too, but it's a tall ask against this Niners defense. So I do think it'll be competitive for most of the game, but I think the Niners will pull away at the end. So I would lay the points, take the Niners in the over.
I'm going to tell you what. I am leaning towards, and again, I don't love it. The over-under, I don't love this number at all either. I'm going to lead towards Arizona here on this one with the 10. And because it feels as always the same thing. Shanahan as a favorite, it's not always the best thing. Neutral fields are weird. It's a weird situation. Like you don't have a beat on necessarily what's going on here. Does the traction favor one team or another? Look, I guess at the end of the day, my lack of faith sometimes with Shanahan as a big favorite just doesn't work. And when Kingsbury is an underdog, typically that seems to go a little bit better for him. I think I would stick with that. It's not my favorite thing. In fact, any of these pieces here, and I can't recommend to you this week to bet Arizona on the money line like I did with Carolina or Washington or the other ones here that we made money, or the Tennessee Titans, which boy, oh boy, was I happy about that one. That was fun.
That was an easy call, I thought. I bad so run too, D against Derrick Henry. Give me Derrick Henry.
But that wasn't even it. It was more just the Tennessee Titans were, the number 1 seed in the AFC last year. The Tennessee Titans are a well-coached football team. They drag you down to the mud. They make you less of a football team in a lot of ways. And then when you have to play at their level, most teams aren't built to do that. And they were able to do it. And Treylon Burks being back healthy meant a lot. Meant a lot to this passing game. So we could
Treylon looking good, Joey.
Ooh, the tractor was good.
I'm so happy about that. Yeah.
Tractor Treylon. Can we call him that?
No.
Did I just give him a nickname?
So
you don't like it,
Joe?
I didn't think it was that bad. Jeez. All right.
I don't like the puns. You know that. The dad jokes, the easiest one, the lowest denomination.
You mean the Joe hanging fruit, as it were?
You're more, yes. You're way more creative than the low hanging fruit. Come on.
It's the Joe hanging fruit because I'm short. That's what we do. See, there's another one right for it. All right. So, like I said, this game, not the most appealing one here. Boggs on the San Francisco side. I'm on the Arizona side. Again, neutral field, I always think is a weird thing. So I'm going to lean towards
I'm more on the over
not pulling
than
away.
Anything
You're more on the over than anything, which is absolutely fair. I hate this number. I don't want anything to do with it. I think it's right on. So I am wiping my hands of it. But let's talk a little about the props because this is where we can make some money. Colt McCoy over 218.5 passing yards. You're getting plus 100 on this bad boy, and you like the over. So let's talk about Colt McCoy because this seems like a reasonable number, especially with Hopkins, who is going to play in this game.
Yeah, and I understand Marquise is down. Hopkins or Ertz is out for the year. So I understand the trepidation here, but Colt has, since leaving Cleveland, he started 11 game or played 11 games where he has at least 20 pass attempts, and he's hit this total in all but 3 of them. So 8 of 11. He's hit this total in. This is still a pass first offense under Cliff Kingsbury, and I expect them to be losing. Like I said, I like the Niners in this game. So I think this is a very, very gettable total for Colt McCoy. And I just don't think the Cardinals lose that much. What they lose from Kyler is like, running outside in the big hitter plays. So I don't think we'll see a 75-yard touchdown pass from Colt McCoy in this, but I think he's good enough to get 200 yards stinking and dunking down the field, even against the Niners. And with the bad offensive line and a good pass rush, you're going to want to make those passes quick. So,
the guy that I like the most, you've circled, which is Rondale Moore, 54 and a half receiving yards, -105. Rondale Moore's played very well. I love the over on this. I'm with you. This is one of my favorite pieces to where you want to look at the lock items, right? The lower totals, the lower numbers here. Try to just lock him in here. If you're going to go with Colt McCoy in the over, you got to pick somebody obviously, to go over as well in the receiving yards. Rondale Moore, I think, is the right one to pick tonight. I'm with you.
I like him a lot. Like we said, still no Marquise. Ertz is down. So I think we're going to see a heavy dose of 3 players in this game, and that is Hopkins, Moore, and Connor. We're going to see a lot of those 3 guys from the Cardinals offense, and I like all of those pieces for tonight.
By the way, double X, Max Williams also active for tonight's game. How about them apples? Let's go. Who needs Zach Ertz?
Max Williams. Well,
who needs Trey McBride? Let's go.
I want to see Trey McBride. 20 and a half was his total. I'm excited for that one. I
would take the under with Max Williams active. I'm telling you right now, he's going to be on the field a lot more. In fact, you might throw that into one of my favorite ones because I think you might get him a little action, but not enough to hit that number. In fact, I'd love to hit that number on the under because I think that's a really good wager, to tell you the truth, especially with that news of Max Williams play.
If McBride gets 2 catches, he'll go over that total for sure. But he may not be on the field that much. I'm not sure.
That's what I'm saying. I think
that's why I didn't want to take it.
Well, I think I like the under. I like the under with the Max Williams active news. I'm telling you, he's been in the offense for years. He knows what's going on there. He's going to be on blocking and all that stuff too. He'll even get a target or 2 probably as well. Let's move on to the next one you've got here. James Conner, 50 and a half rushing yards, -120. You like the over. This is a tough one. This is a number that I'm kind of staying away from, but you like it. San Francisco, pretty good defense here. Why do you like this number tonight? Just the volume?
I like this number, because they cut Eno after last week, and they cut Eno because he complained about not getting carries because Connor got literally everything last week. And I think we're going to see the same deal here. So I expect Connor to run the ball a decent amount, keep those guys honest, keep the ears from being pinned back for the Niners defense to go and murder Colt. So I think they're going to, be inventive in getting him some carries. So I think he'll get like 20 in this game. And I think he goes over that 50 yards by sheer volume.
All right, let's go to the next one here. You've got Bogman has also cherry picked James Conner for the 14.5 rushing attempts. So once again, the volume play
Same
here
deal. Yeah.
Going together. We always like to do a little defensive here because we're always
Nick Bosa wasn't on there. I wanted to see if they gave him 1.25 because they almost never do over 1. It's 0.75, it's 0.25. That's kind of the sack game. They'll juice it down to like -180 or whatever, something like that, -175. But I thought maybe for once we're gonna get Bosa over 1, like 1.25, but it just straight up was not. I think a half in Watt or 0.75 in Watt was the only one I saw, and it was like minus.
Well, that's a real kick in the pants. Can't really
I know.
That. Well, we got Isaiah Simmons for the 6.5 tackles, and you like the over on that one at -120. That makes a lot of sense too. It should be an active night for Christian McCaffrey and for Eli Mitchell, who we're going to talk about in a second as well.
They've been moving Simmons around the defense the whole time he's been in Arizona, but recently they've been playing him correctly, meaning they've been putting him in position to make tackles and all that stuff. So I just think that if you draft Isaiah Simmons, right, and he's your floating defender, like Zaven's in the middle, you have your big hogs up front, you have your corners, and Simmons will play corner a lot, but I think in this game he is purely a spy for CMC or Mitchell whenever they're on the field. So, it could be an issue next year when Trey Lance comes around. What do you do with all of these running options, right? What do you do with Simmons? But I think for this game with Jimmy G at the helm, you just stick Simmons on CMC and you say, sound him like glue. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think CMC is going to touch the ball 25 times. So Simmons is going to rack up some major tackles tonight.
Well, everybody knows I'm not a big parlay guy, but I think if you are going to put some pieces together, you take the Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown at -150. You take the Rondale Moore over on the receiving yards. I think those were your starting points. And then you add one other piece in terms of what you feel confident about, whether it be the Colt McCoy number, whether it be another something simple potentially as well. Maybe the James Conner attempts. I think the attempts number is something that I like more than the actual yardage number.
Okay.
I think if you're going to approach this, like the one thing you can control a little bit is the volume. So rather than control the outcome or try or attempt to control the outcome of that volume tonight, because San Francisco is pretty good defense, maybe just control the volume itself. I think that's the better. Those three things are the three things that I would put together. If you're into the parlays and you like to do it, that might be a good way, especially since tonight, the actual game itself is kind of whenever you get the big numbers, people get kind of sketch about all of that. And I understand why. And that total just seems right spot on. Some other anytime touchdown numbers here. Eli Mitchell +145, Brandon Ayuk +175, Rondale Moore +360. You got a 3-1 on Rondale Moore. Those are a few that I would just take notice of at very least. Trey McBride is at +600, and Max Williams XX is at +1,500 bucks. There you go.
Ooh, maybe one
Not
of those
impossible.
guys. Yeah,
Not
definitely
impossible.
not impossible. Yeah.
It's really not. It's really not. I mean, you want to be outside the box, have a little fun, put a 5 spot on Max Williams, and just sit back and enjoy the ride.
One target, one catch, 6 yards, 1 touchdown. That's what we want.
6 yards. How about 4?
That's a Trey McBride touchdown. That's what we want. Well, it is Colt, so let's make it 2. I don't care.
Okay, there you go.
Dump off whatever.
The more we talked about it, the less it got. I really like that.
Yeah, sure. We don't need any yards for that anytime touchdown. That's fine. Right.
So we did our favorite props. We did the game. We're just going to run through a couple other things here. Let's do Jimmy Garoppolo, 1.5 rushing yards. Again, these low numbers sometimes are cakewalks. You want to take the over on this bad boy?
I don't want to touch any Jimmy G rushing prop ever. No, thank you.
I don't know. 11 yards, 2, 3, 3. He's hit it every single time.
Will he need to? That's the issue.
I think so. I think I could see Jimmy G 2. I mean, 1.5. I mean, you want to talk about little numbers, man. This is it.
Yeah.
This is the number. I don't like any other Jimmy G number except this number when we're looking at the quarterbacks.
Not even the interception number? What is that at?
Nope. I don't even know if that's enough. It's at 0.5. It's not terrible. At BetMGM, you're getting plus money on it. You're getting plus 110. So it's not terrible.
Not bad. Yeah.
No.
I actually don't hate that
either. It's not as good as the 1.5 over on the rushing yards. You're not getting the plus money, but I tell you what, it's money in the bank. You're getting, in fact, the juice is ridiculous. It's -220. But again, you want to take something else, another variable, and lock in something and make it a 4-leg parlay with the 3 things we talked about?
No.
Why not? Bet the other Jimmy G over 1.5. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. Let's go.
Every time I see a new light bulb get put in a giant sign, I know I paid for it. In Vegas with one of those parlays I used to do. So,
well, yeah, but look, I think I always say the same thing whenever you're doing the parlays, and I just did one earlier this week too that involved the Tennessee Titans upset. So we had the Titans already banked that, but I also put it into a parlay with the Chiefs winning, with Baltimore Ravens winning, and then the 5.5 on Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Which I took. Now here's the thing: at halftime, I cashed out of it. Because my faith in the Steelers, although they were ahead, was not great. And I said, I can make 3 times my money on this, or I could get super greedy. Of course, there's that little devil that says, Joey, you want to get super greedy, don't you? And I said, yes, I do, but I'm not going to.
You know what his name is, that devil? It's the parlay devil. That's his name. Yeah, the parlay devil says, come on, don't you want to wait one more and make it a quintuple instead of a triple up? Let's go.
But that's the whole point. And that's when you have to find is good enough. You take the 2 locks, and then after that, You go and you find that one other thing you feel really confident
You take the
in.
good, you take the
and
bad, and that's the facts of life, right?
It is. But it's also how you stagger them too throughout the week. Because if you stagger them properly and you find that thing in the 4 o'clock window that you feel okay about and it's starting to work out, places like FanDuel, you can cash out of it and you can get out of you've got 3 of the 4. Man, oh man, like you've got a decision to make. You can follow it and watch it, and it updates live every time. A lot of people bet and they don't even realize some of these things you can do. I know the people who watch this do, but people are still new to the wagering market. Still don't understand how these things really work.
Yet. So
Right,
people are learning as they go.
And we're teaching. That's what we're doing here.
Right.
All right, let's get to some of the running backs here. Christian McCaffrey, 37.5 receiving yards. The projection's at 33. The juice is at -110 over a FanDuel. Again, I mean, that's a number.
I mean, every single CMC prop should be total yards. I'm because we know he's going to get the yards. We don't know how he's going to get the yards every single week. So I would rather do, I think it's 104.
I was going to say the totals at that. Yeah, that's
I do not care. I would go
over on that. Well over that. So I'm with Boggs there. The total is what you're looking for with CMC. I'm looking for some Eli Mitchell stuff here too, which I don't see right on the prop bet cheat sheet right now.
The rushing prop has got to be under 18.5 attempts like he had last week, right? I mean,
oh my God. I mean, well, that's going to be fascinating to see. Was that a one-off or was that the trend? I want to see.
No, I think that was because, they got up. So
it might be.
Yeah.
I just want to see it.
I would
but even more to the point now, this is a great time to jump on the all-purpose yards from CMC because of
10
that.
to 12 touches for Eli.
I think there's uncertainty in the CMC market just enough that you're probably getting a very fair number here on this all-purpose yards. So with that in mind, I would go ahead and I would hit that as well. On the receiving side, we already talked about Rondo Moore. That is our favorite by far. Ayuk is a very boomer bust kind of guy. He's at 57.5 receiving yards. If you look at what he's done recently, though, Boggs, he has hit this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a row. I got to say, after Rondo Moore, if I'm picking anybody else for the over on receiving yards, it's Brandon Ayuk, and the corner play has not been spectacular.
Byron Murphy, like we mentioned before, down. So I think that he smashes that number. So, yeah, I'm with you. I almost put that one on my 5, but it just was under. Those ones seem all easy kind of to me, but, haven't been great. I think I've been, good weeks I hit 3, bad weeks I hit 2 on these. So, the way
keep it simple out there tonight. We're giving you the simple things. Keep it simple, stupid. That's what we do here, the KISS method. And look, tonight is one of those nights where you take the 2 lock things and then the other one that's a little bit more interesting, maybe a little bit bigger variable. You put those 3 things together, small 3 parlay. That's it. Don't go bigger than the 3. And then separately, throw a little tiny unit on Max Williams, on Trey McBride for the touchdown, because Bogman and I see this the same way. When you get down to that area there, if they have trouble running the ball with James Conner with that front of San Francisco, guess what? You're going to run a little play action here and there. You're going to get some of those opportunities there for one of these tight ends potentially. So there you go. There you have it. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Scott Bogman, I'm Joey P. Enjoy your Monday Night Football in Mexico, everybody.